Nature versus nurture clash when three identical strangers discover they were indeed triplets separated at birth, and later on find out they were part of an experiment facilitated by the Louise Wise Adoption Agency right here in Manhattan during the 1950s and 60s. The stories of these three men, their accidental reunification, the experiment, and its fallout, now the subject of a critically acclaimed film titled Three Identical Strangers. Let's take a look.
I wouldn't believe the story if someone else were telling it, but it's true, every word of it. It started when I went to college. It was the first day of school. All these people are coming up to me saying, "Eddie, how are you? Eddie, hi." I'm like, my name's not Eddie. I don't know what you're talking about.
As soon as this guy turned around, I knew it was Eddie's double. I said, "You're not gonna believe this. You have a twin brother."
Oh my God.
Joining us now to share the details of this story and more is the film's director, Tim Wardle. Tim, nice to have you here with us.
Nice to be here, Jack.
This is a fascinating story. Give us a capitalization. I mentioned in the introduction, triplets, separated, put up for adoption, separated at birth. How did the discovery process then take place?
As you say, Jack, triplets separated at birth, raised by different families, completely unaware of each other's existence. They are reunited by a series of bizarre coincidences, the main one being what we've just seen, which is Bobby Shafran goes to college, age 19, this small college in upstate New York, Sullivan County Community College, turns up for the first day, and everyone acts like they've known him for forever. And it quickly...
It's interesting. He's saying girls are coming up and giving him a kiss.
Exactly.
And he's thinking, wow, this is a welcoming college,
exactly.
Isn't it?
And they quickly work out that he looks very, very similar to this other student, Eddie, who was at the college the year before but has left. And they eventually track down Eddie, and these two boys meet each other, and it's immediately apparent they're identical. They're like clones of each other, and everyone thinks they're twins. And a few papers pick up the story, and it's widely reported. And then the next day, they get a phone call from someone who says, "I'm reading about you guys in the paper, and I've seen a picture, and I think you're not twins. I think I'm the third. I think we're triplets." Mm-hmm. And from then on, things just go crazy.
Now, that forms the basis of a really interesting human nature, human interest story. But it moves into a more complex story afterwards. How does that happen?
Yeah, I mean, as you say, they were famous in the 1980s, and it was touted as the ultimate kind of human interest, feel-good story. Things started to shift further into the story as they started looking back at the reasons for their separation. They didn't understand, well, why would we be separated? And they all remembered scientists coming to their homes and studying them in their homes, and that each of the individual families were told, oh, this is just a normal, routine child adoption study. We're doing this with lots of kids. They started to wonder if there was more to it than that, and eventually a journalist, a Pulitzer-winning journalist, Lawrence Wright, started looking into the story and discovered that there was a science experiment going on, and that these boys had been separated on purpose for this experiment.
Was he able to determine the extent of this science experiment? How many other children were involved?
Lawrence discovered that there were definitely a number of other twins involved, a number of other multiple births, and we know about, I think we know 5 pairs and the triplets, but the truth is no one knows how many. There could be many more, and we just don't know.
Was there ever anything published or got out there into the scientific world that provided any details to this?
No, I mean, that's the real scandal and one of the real injustices of this, you know, these brothers and other twins were separated and studied over years and years, I mean decades, and all this information was locked away in a safe in a vault at Yale University, not to be opened until 2066.
This is from the primary researcher, the documents that he had put together.
Yeah, the man running the study was a really famous psychiatrist called Peter Neubauer. He was, you know, the father of child psychiatry in America. So he was
worked with Freud's daughter.
Yeah, he was
Freud.
Massively influential, and he ran this study, but it was very secretive. And once news started to get out about what happened, this is in 1980 after the triplets reunited, he and the rest of the researchers involved kind of went to ground and kind of just buried all this information.
What sort of parallels did you discover in putting this film together amongst the three as they were youngsters, and then as their lives progressed?
Well, I mean, the extraordinary thing is when these three boys were growing up in these separate families, unaware of each other's existence, they exhibited behaviour which was strikingly parallel. You know, and things like, well, first of all, they all experienced separation anxiety at being split up from their brothers that they didn't know existed. So all of the families remember them kind of rocking in their cots and like in their cribs and banging their heads against the wall and exhibiting quite unusual behaviour. And then there's also stuff like one of them, when he was 6 or 7 years old, had real pain in his leg, and the family took him to doctors to get him looked at, and no one could work out what was wrong. And later, when the brothers were reunited, it turned out that one of the other brothers had his legs in braces at that time.
Right.
You know, so.
How about, give me a sense of their lives as adults and how their lives progressed.
Well, initially they had this period of, you know, being famous, and they were out at Studio 54, and they were the sort of toast of New York for a bit. And they set up a business together. They set up a restaurant called Triplets in Manhattan that was very successful for a period of time. And then things started to go wrong. They fell out with each other. You know, they married women who had very different ideas, I think, of what they wanted from this brotherly relationship. And ultimately, tragically, one of them, Eddie, developed mental health problems and took his own life in '95.
Was there something that truly surprised you or you had not anticipated as you were putting this film together?
I think I learned so much about nature versus nurture, that whole debate, you know, and that's at the heart of this film. And when I was making the film, I had a child, my first child, and the film and my personal life started kind of feeding into each other, because I started seeing stuff in my son and thinking, well, is this from me genetically, or, you know, is he learning this from the environment? And that definitely informed the film and made me think much more about these brothers and their relationship.
It's kind of unfortunate that we never found out what the results of the study were.
I think you're absolutely right, and I think that's one of the things that the brothers find most egregious about what was done to them. Not just that they were separated for this experiment, but that no good has come of this, no knowledge has been gleaned from it. And it would make it much easier for them to live with, I think, if there were answers or definitive information that had been found as a result of tearing these lives apart.
Well, Tim, I got to tell you, it's extraordinary work, great storytelling, a great detective story as you watch it, and certainly is a very thoughtful look at a very bizarre circumstance here. So thanks for spending some time with us. Good work. I think people are going to enjoy watching this.
Thank you.
And a reminder for you to find out more about the documentary, Three Identical Strangers, and where you can watch it. Make sure you visit us at metrofocus.org.